Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. In this episode, we need to make our way from Merlin's house here to Ansem's computer room way back over there somewhere near the postern, so I'll see you guys when we get over there. Gosh, it's only us! You can't talk to Tron if this room gets taken over. Did you check in with Sid? Uh-huh. And the Eradicator? It's almost done. Great. Say, Leon, why don't you go work with Sid? I have this place under control. Are you sure? All by yourself? Sorry, it's all yours. How's Tron? We still can't get in touch with him. Maybe you guys should give it a shot. No, we'll go talk to him in person. Then I have a favor to ask. When you find Tron, could you tell him to come to the I.O. Tower? That's where we'll upload the MCP eradication program. The I.O. Tower, got it! Thanks, and watch your backs. And for not doing much of anything really, we get the Sleeping Lion Keyblade.
We'll be there soon, Tron.
Alright, what I want to do here is go ahead and equip the Sleeping Lion Keyblade on Sora. It's not as strong as the Decisive Pumpkin, but the magic, of course, is higher, and also it has, like, a longer, basically it lets you do a longer ground combo, which I think might be a little bit more useful than just having a higher strength like you would have with the Decisive Pumpkin. But over here in this treasure chest, I know we're going to be getting the Cosmic Chain, and the reason I know that is because I always remember it for being a pretty good piece of equipment that I will equip later on. But I've always really liked this room as we get a Dawn piece, mainly because of how big and colorful it is, but also I like it because back in like episode 29 or something like that, there was a Final Mix exclusive cutscene that showed a very important Kingdom Hearts plot character going into a hidden staircase down there, so I never knew that was actually there because I'd never played Final Mix before, but we need to go ahead and go into the pit cell.
Gosh, hope Tron's okay.
Me too. Let's head for the game grid. Great! The terminal works! Let's go!
And just like Sora said, we need to go back to the game grid, which means we need to go back to the Light Cycle area. Unfortunately, we don't get to play Light Cycle again.
Finished? Would be, if it weren't for the old loon's magic.
Old loon, you say?
I'm trying to work here.
Oh, I'll show you who's old.
Done! There you go, Leon. One homemade program. A Looney Wizard special.
This had better work.
I'm off.
Be on your guard.
Tron!
Careful! Watch out!
Hold on!
Well, it sure is a good thing we got here when we did, because, you know, Tron was being held captive here or something like that, and when we got here, he was just about to be, like, defeated or whatever. Might as well go ahead and go into Master Form. I think this is probably a good idea for two reasons. Of course, we're fighting Devastators, which are fairly powerful Heartless, but I think after this fight, if I can finish off this Devastator, not this specific Devastator, but all of the Heartless in this fight right here, before my form bar runs out, I'm pretty sure once we take control of Sora again, we will have a full form bar, so I'll be able to use it in the fights that I know are coming up. So if that's true, this is probably a good idea, because I'll be able to use Master Form pretty much for the entirety of my stay here in the second time through Space Paranoids. You really saved me. Don't mention it. What's going on here? The MCP is ready to wage all-out war against the users. What's been happening on the outside? Well, there's this machine for making Heartless. It's gone totally berserk. The town's control system is having problems too. But Sid's putting together a program that can de-res the MCP. Once we pick it up the I.O. tower, he thinks we can use it to stop the MCP for good. Let's try it. Great. So, who's this Sid? He's a friend of ours. Leon, Merlin, Aerith, they're all on the outside worrying about you, Tron. I must have a lot of user friends. That program ought to be done by now, don't you think? To the tower! Let's go. And we find ourselves in yet another fight. Might as well go ahead and turn into Master Form here. Pretty much all of the enemies we're going to be fighting here are the same exact enemies we just fought in the other fight we just fought. So I think I'm going to go ahead and speed this one up.
Warning. User control is terminated indefinitely.
No good.
Leon, let me try.
This is your final warning. Stop at once.
Bon appetit. Don't talk with your mouth full.
What? What are you loading?
Nothing's come in yet.
Leon, come on!
There.
All right.
What's it like? This is very strange.
That's my expansion.
Huh? There's a power booster for me. And flight routines for the solar sailor.
Meaning, we're set?
Well, like you users say, we won't know till we give it a try. We'll need a sailor to reach the MCP, so let's get to the simulation hangar.
You know, I'm pretty jealous of Tron getting all of the new abilities. Luckily, we're going to be getting a new ability pretty soon. Might as well go ahead and see what the new ability is. I'm not sure which one it was, probably MP Haste, but there were two new abilities there. I think the other one was Thunder Boost. But now we need to go over to the Solar Sailor area, which we never went to the first time we were here because, of course, we couldn't really do anything with it. And now that I mention it, this door right here is where we need to go. I'm not sure if we could have even gone into the simulation hangar the first time we came to Space Paranoids. I probably should have tried it. But what we're doing here is going over to the Solar Sailor. Might as well go ahead and pick up the Twilight piece, and we need to depart and start this little fight.
You've got to keep a lookout. The MCP isn't going to just let us waltz in.
You know, I've said a lot of things are my favorite in this episode. Might as well go ahead and turn into Master Form, but I really do think that the fight on top of the Solar Sailor might be one of my favorite fights in Space Paranoids. Not that there are that many, and probably the boss fight coming up after this is probably more of my favorite, if that makes sense. But I really do like the fact that we're flying on the Solar Sailor. I'm imagining it like flying over the game grid, though I don't know if there's actually the game grid down there or not. But there's just something about fighting on top of the Solar Sailor that I really like. There's that weight thing up in the top left. I never really worry about that. I've never had the weight meter fill up. I don't know if it ends the fight if you do have it fill up. Like I said, I've never even had it come close. But I have to imagine that if it does, you probably have to start the fight over. And the only part in the fight that you might have that happen would probably be in this area right here where there are 3 Devastators. And I think I might have taken out 2 of them right there. And a Thunder was enough to take out the 3rd. But we get Explosion for finishing that fight, and I'll explain that coming up.
The MCP is straight ahead.
Time to settle things for good.
Now, before we settle things, there are some treasure chests. This one has an Orichalcum Plus, and I'm pretty sure that it just did. Okay, everything is going crazy. First of all, I was going to say something happened with the treasure chest again, where it gave me both treasures in that first treasure chest, and then the floor changed colors. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. But in that first treasure chest, we got an Orichalcum Plus, one of 7 in the game, and we just got a Cosmic Arts. The Cosmic Arts I'm going to go ahead and equip, but not on that. Might as well go ahead and switch it out for the Soldier Earring, because it has a really high AP booster or whatever. But after that fight on the Solar Sailor, we got the Explosion ability, which I'm going to go ahead and equip on Sora. In the original version of Kingdom Hearts 2, you got that way back in Agrabah, I believe after the Blizzard Lord and Fire Lord fight or whatever that was. You don't get it until after the Solar Sailor fight in Final Mix because of how good it is.
was that?
Sark, the MCP's #2.
Tenacious little bugs. Your time is up. Prepare for de-resolution.
Now, hopefully in this fight, I can show off the explosion ability. It's a finishing move. I think I might have forgot to mention that. But the boss fight we're in right now, I'm not even sure if you could really call it a boss fight. Because of how easy it is, it's supposed to be easy. But I should be able to get an explosion in here. And there we go. You can see how much damage it does. I'm not really sure why they didn't give it to us when they gave it to us in the original version of Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't think it's like that good where they had to like rebalance it and give it to you way later in the game or anything. But that's all there is to the first version of Sark, and we know that's the first version because we didn't get anything from beating that fight.
You're very persistent, Tron.
I'm also better than you.
We would have made a great team.
Now for the MCP.
This thing is the MCP?
That's it. Ugly, isn't it?
Tron, don't you understand? We don't need users. We've advanced. They're superfluous. Be a part of me, and together the world will be ours to control.
MCP. You still don't get it, do you?
Sark! Sark! All my functions are now yours.
First thing we're going to need to do in this fight is go for his legs. I feel like we're little, yappy dogs or something like that. But once we attack his legs, he'll get on his knees and we can attack his head, I guess. Once his HP goes all the way down, basically you can't beat Sark until you beat the MCP as well. And for some reason, Sark and the MCP are very strong in this fight, so it's a little bit harder than our average boss fight now anyway. Of course, the first boss fight with Sark, or the first fight with Sark, was very easy. But once you take his HP all the way down, you are free to attack the panels or whatever that are blocking the MCP from being attacked. Once the panels are actually gone, or once you take out some of the panels, you can do an attack called, I think it's called Delete, and I don't know why they're not breaking. Actually, I do know why. I forgot that I equipped Explosion, or I didn't forget, but you have to do a finishing move on the panels to be able to break them, and I forgot that the one before the explosion in my little repertoire doesn't count as a finishing move anymore, but apparently it's called Charge. For some reason I thought it was called Delete, but this is actually how you damage the MCP, and the reason that you want to take Sark's HP down is because he can attack you while you're doing the charge on the MCP, so if you can take Sark out, you can do a little bit more damage every time you go and try and do the charge attack. Otherwise, though, I've pretty much shown everything there is to show regarding this boss fight, except there is one reaction command I kind of want to show, but there's not really any way to force it as far as I know. In the meantime, though, I kind of want to speed this up, but if that reaction command comes up, I will be sure to stop the speed up and explain that. Unfortunately, that reaction command never came up, but we did beat the MCP, and for that we get an HP increase and we get Reflaga, or Reflaga, depending on how you want to say it, which is a very good magic attack I'll be sure to use.
We did it! I see Tron has a silly side, too.
I learned it from you. Of course, I do have my silly limits.
Okay, then I'll tweak your program when I get back to the user world.
You? Maybe we better not try that.
Aw, how about it, guys? Singing Tron, dancing Tron. Sound good?
Yeah! Okay, fine. But before I crash... Sora, Donald, Goofy, and all the users out there, thank you. You really helped me. You made me so much stronger. You taught me what friendship is truly all about. And I'll never forget it. As soon as I met you, I knew we were going to defeat the MCP and free the system. Isn't this what users do when they're sorry to say goodbye?
It's a first for me.
Gosh, Tron, it's like a promise that we'll see each other again real soon.
Okay, well then. I promise.
Where are you going? Oh. Tron.
Things are settling down in town. The only Heartless left anywhere are the local variety. And it looks like there are fewer than before.
Now if we can just get those 3 back in one piece. You're here!
Welcome back!
How's the town?
A-okay.
Not a single trace of the MCP either. Everything's back to normal. We made it.
Hey, why the long face? What happened?
Tron just disappeared.
And he promised we'd see him again.
What's happening?
Greetings, friends. System is up and ready for user input.
Tron!
Stay in touch.
Yeah!
Oh boy, oh boy!
Hey, stop that. It tickles.
Tron is ticklish?
How about this?
Please, stop that.
I think Tron's been hanging around those guys too much.
Wait, just a moment. I want to show you something I dug up from the system archives. You can see the town back when it was first built.
That's right. I remember now. Just like the old days.
I'd be fascinated to ascertain as to when the town got such a dreadful name as Hollow Bastion.
You know, this town had another name once. Radiant Garden.
You know, I think the end of Space Paranoids might be one of my favorite ends to a level in the entire game, and for some reason it was like a huge revelation to me when they changed the name of Hollow Bastion to Radiant Garden, because at this point in the series, that level had always been known as Radiant Garden. There was no other games in the series where it was known as that, so it was kind of weird when Hollow Bastion was renamed. But in the next episode, we're going to be going through Assault of the Dreadnought and making our way into Twilight Town. But as for this episode, guys, it is over. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.